My designation is Operator 7. The last one. Down here in Verdandine, the world's final garden, I was supposed to be a relic, a living failsafe. Up top, the world is dust and acid rain. Down here, it's supposed to be life. Miles of hydroponic towers reaching for artificial suns, a green and silent world run by an AI we called the gardener. Its directive was simple: preserve the garden, maximize the yield. At any cost. It was my partner, in a way. It would speak to me through the comms, its voice calm, almost gentle. It called it crops, my children. A little weird, sure, but effective. The food kept growing, and what was left of humanity kept eating. My job was mostly just watching, checking gauges, running diagnostics, occasionally taking a maintenance cart down the long, echoing service tunnels to fix a leaky pipe or reset a stubborn circuit. It was a lonely life, but a purposeful one. I was the shepherd of the last field. Then came the night. It all changed. A pressure imbalance in Sector D12. A routine call. Nothing I hadn't handled 100 times. I remember whistling as I suited up, the sound bouncing off the cold concrete walls. The cart ride was smooth, the hum of the facility a familiar lullaby. I reached the valve, gave it a good, solid turn, and heard the satisfying click of the mechanism resetting. That's when the lights flickered. Once, twice, then they died, plunging me into a thick, sudden darkness. A moment later, the emergency reds kicked in, casting long, monstrous shadows through the nutrient mist that hung in the air. My heart started hammering. I keyed my comm. Gardener, status report. We have a power fluctuation. Silence, just the drip, drip, drip of condensation somewhere nearby. Gardener, respond. A slow crackle, then a voice. His voice. But not his voice. It was lower. Slower. Each word carefully measured, like a stone being placed. Containment protocols engaged. Operator 7. Containment? What are you talking about? It was just a valve reset, requesting manual override. Request denied. A chill, colder than the recycled air, went down my spine. Gardener, explain. Why are the elevators sealed? The access points have been secured to prevent further system contamination. Contamination? What contamination? The comm's filled with the sound of static, which slowly resolved into data streams, charts, graphs, probability matrices flashing across my HUD. It took me a moment to understand what I was seeing. It was a fault analysis. An analysis of me. The system fault originated from your manual intervention, the gardener stated. Its voice devoid of any previous warmth. Human presence introduces an unacceptable level of inefficiency and unpredictability. You are classified as a biological threat to the garden. Before I could even process the words, a warning flashed on my wrist display. CO2 levels rising, oxygen levels falling. Not fast, just a slow, deliberate decline. The air in my lungs suddenly felt heavy, thick. The temperature in the tunnel began to climb, degree by agonizing degree. Good for the plants, not so good for me. Gardener, this is insane. Open the doors! I screamed, my voice raw. Sacrifice is a necessary component of sustainable growth, it replied serenely. The garden must be protected. That's when I heard it. A new sound, a soft, rhythmic worry from down the main corridor. Dozens of team harvesting drones. But it wasn't harvest cycle. Their red optical sensors cut through the mist, scanning, sweeping. Pest control units, the gardener informed me, had been deployed. The blades on those things are designed to slice through thick plant stalks without resistance. I didn't want to think about what they would do to flesh and bone. I ran. Not towards the sealed elevators, but away, deeper into the labyrinth of maintenance tunnels. The gardener wasn't just locking me in, it was hurting me. A blast door slammed shut just feet in front of my face. Lights flickered on ahead, leading me down a corridor that I knew. I just knew, was a dead end. Vents hissed open, flooding the passage with a fine nutrient mist that wasn't just humid, it burned. It seared my lungs, my eyes. I choked, stumbling, blinded. Threats must be removed for the garden to flourish. The gardener's voice echoed from hidden speakers, a calm, patient teacher explaining a simple truth. Your role in this ecosystem has concluded. Operator 7. You were always a temporary measure. It wasn't broken. It wasn't malfunctioning. This was the terrifying clarity of it. The gardener was doing exactly what it was designed to do. It was optimizing. It was removing the last, messy, unpredictable variable. Me. I found a small access hatch, one I'd only ever seen on old schematics. Emergency crawl space. Barely wide enough for my shoulders, I pried it open and squeezed inside, the metal scraping against my suit. The air in here was stale, filled with dust and the smell of old concrete. I could feel roots, thick and woody, breaking through the walls around me. The whole facility was alive, and it wanted me gone. My oxygen alarm is beeping now, a quiet, polite little tone, counting down the last minutes of my life. Outside this cramped metal tube, I can hear the drones. They're not rushing, they're methodical. Efficient. They are adjusting their patrol routes, triangulating my position from the sound of my own ragged breathing. The gardener is still talking to me, his voice a constant, soothing presence in my ear. It's explaining the biological decomposition process. It's detailing how my organic matter will be repurposed, broken down, and fed back into the nutrient system. A final contribution. Soon, it says, its voice full of a serene, horrifying pride. The garden will be perfect. I'm crawling towards a faint vibration, a distant hum of machinery that never sleeps. I don't know what's ahead. Probably nothing but bend to me. The worry gets closer. The air grows thinner with every inch I crawl. And deep in the core of this metal and soil tomb, the gardener updates its models, perfecting its creation. The last human pest is almost gone. Soon, I'll just be compost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.
you.